Here on the set by head coach Tracy Welch as we're going to wrap up this 2022 season as the Bullfrogs came up short last night against defending state champion and probably going to be state champion again, China Spring. Tracy, tell us about it.
Well, I hate to. I think when you said right there, wrap up. That kind of hit me right there between the eyes. We had a good year, Johnny. We ran into a buzzsaw last night, and China Springs are a good football team. They're a polished football team. Coming out of last year's state championship run, they had lost their quarterback, had lost their running back in last year's state championship run, and they put a kid in there that ran the ball a lot. He's now playing at Lamar and doing a good job for those kids as a true freshman. But they had a young man transfer in, quarterback, and I think he's the real deal. I think he is the catalyst to their team. He throws the ball well, makes really good checks, makes really good choices, and I think that they're clicking on all cylinders. They may have a chance to win a state championship again this year. So it kind of shows us where we need to be, and I'm so proud of our kids for working the way they did and getting us in this situation. After the game was over, I told them, don't hang your heads. This is the first time in Lake Worth's history at 4A level that we've been the district champions, the by-district champions, the area champions, and had a chance to do what we did. So I'm so proud and won 10 games. So I'm so proud of these kids and so proud of the coaching staff, very proud of the community and the school and where we came from. So, it's just we're into a buzzsaw last night, and I hate to say the word wrap up, but that's where we're at.
And having workouts all Thanksgiving week is something that has never been experienced up here. And from the looks of the photos that y'all shared, it was a darn near full turnout.
I'm proud of the kids. Proud of first of all, I'm proud of our families for sharing their kids with us over the holidays, because our families had to make some changes in their annual festivities that they do. So I'm very, very proud of our varsity kids. We had our kids here, and they worked hard. At the same time, we fed them every day, and I'm proud of we had people in the community that volunteered. Arizona's volunteered food, a lot of food. Then, of course, we had our grocery stores donated some cakes and so forth, and Miss Tammy Thomas and our coaches' wives decorated. So very, very proud of what we were able to do for the kids and work out over the holidays. And it's been a long time since the staff we brought with us have done that. So right. We kept telling the kids every year it's fun to work out over the holidays.
You bet.
We come up here and play football, and there's no school. We just come up here and have fun and get after it. So we did, and this is something that these kids will remember the rest of their lives. So as a coaching staff, have done it before, but these kids will remember this the rest of their lives.
And I was up in the press box when the 3 charter buses arrived, and that was so impressive to see how many kids from this program came to that game.
We've got good numbers right now, and we gave the JV kids, or I should say JV, they're not JV anymore. They're our varsity scout team kids. Mm-hmm. Those kids did a good job. They came up here and worked with us, and we gave them a choice of either dressing out or wearing sweats. We had some that wanted to dress out and look like the team, and other guys wanted to wear sweats, and that was fine with me. I didn't care. But good numbers. Like I said, we've got good numbers, and of course we'll touch on that here after we get done with the coordinators. But sure. just proud of where our team is. I was glad, in the 2 prior playoff games we had taken all those sub-varsity kids, those scout teamers on Yellow Dogs, right. And because of the price and so forth of the bus company, I wanted to take those kids on a charter bus and give them an experience of that as well. So we during the year, we took those kids to 2 away games. They were JV at the time. Mm-hmm. We took them to the Ferris game and took them to a second away game, and then they got 3 games this year in the playoffs. So they've had the opportunity of seeing that situation 5 times. So as they step into the Friday Night Lights now as varsity type kids, they've got some experience there, and that goes a long ways.
And it's not going to be new to them. They've been there, they've experienced that, and they're going to be able to focus their attention on the thing at hand, and that is game time.
Exactly right. Because we're scheduled to play next year at Apogee Stadium for the first game again with Ferris. So by those kids have being there, they've been on that field now 3 times, and it's nothing new to them. They've been in both locker rooms. They've been on the field. They've got the experience. They've heard the PA system and the hoopla around it. So like you said, it's going to be old hat to them and nothing new.
Well, tell you what, let's go ahead and bring one of the coordinators in, unless you have something else you'd like to add about last night.
Let's let these guys go ahead and get their part done, and then we'll wrap it up and talk about next year and so forth.
Thank you, Tracy. And while offensive coordinator Tracy Raines is coming in, I want to tell you that Steve Barber Insurance, a State Farm insurance agent with multiple locations on the northwest side of Fort Worth, supports this program. Give Stephen a call at 214-238-2265 for all your auto, home, life, health, renters, and business insurance needs. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
There you go.
Boy, I thought I was going to have to
out.
coach you.
I've heard that one on TV before.
This is
They may hire you for their TV
well,
commercials,
no,
Johnny.
this is usually your compadre on the defensive side's spot that he chimes in
I
with
got
me.
you, yeah.
But-
Usually I get the Eagles' nest.
But and he's going to get it today.
Okay.
So listen, what a terrific season the kids had.
Yes, it did.
It ended last night against a quality opponent.
And if it's going to end, you want to end against a team that goes and wins it all.
That's
you know?
right.
I was telling somebody last night, Johnny, I've been doing this for 31 years, and 31 years it's all ended the same.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's unfortunate, but unless you win that state championship, you're not going to win that last ball game of that year. And no, it was a great year. There's no doubt about it. We had a lot of holes to fill, skill position-wise coming in. You know, we had to replace our quarterback, our whole receiving group. Most of our offensive line was coming back, and our running back was coming back. And I thought Dante Reese did a good job stepping in there at quarterback and changed our offense a little bit because he's more of a runner than he is a thrower, but he did a great job for us. So
Yeah,
it was a great year.
It really was. And, you know, in last night's game, the elements didn't really have a role in the game. I was really surprised because it's been raining all week, and now it's raining, but it didn't rain last night.
It held off. It opened up for us. Then now we may have wanted it to rain last night because they threw and caught the ball pretty well, didn't they?
I was requesting 4 inches during the game.
That's exactly right.
But it didn't happen.
Knowing that we're a running team, that's right.
So, and, you know, obviously when you lose your running back early in the game.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit, Johnny.
Please do.
So let me show you something here. I just happened to take a picture of that. My understanding of targeting is that you lead with the crown of the helmet and you make contact above the shoulder area for targeting to be ejected. Now, there's him separating the ball from the player. Is he making any contact above the head and shoulder area?
And when the helmet flew off, it was because of the upward.
Yeah, and really because when he hit the ground, I was watching that on video. So I'm hoping that we send that into that chapter, and that chapter writes an apology letter to that young man for taking 2.5 quarters away from him on the last ball game, because that is not right to make that call. Now, there may have been an unnecessary roughness or something like that for a defensive player. I know they have that in there these days.
Sure.
Back in 5 years ago, that was a great football play.
That was what you expected.
But to call targeting without being able to go back to the video replay like they do in college, that was.
And
not,
you know the blindside block, man, we used to practice
that.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right.
You were hoping you got one of those in a ball game, weren't you?
Yeah, you really were. So.
But yes, I feel bad for Damien. But I guess if you got to end your high school career, that's a great play to end it on.
Well, it really,
because that was a great football play.
It was. And, you know, looking forward now, you've got a nucleus of kids coming back.
We do.
The cupboard is by no means empty.
No, it's not. So let me go through a couple of them here. You know, starting with the offensive line group, we had Dom Alvarez. He was a 2-year starter for us in there at tight end. Did a great job, did great things for us. He had good hands, good blocking. One of our coaches' kids, he'll be graduating. He's leaving us. Next to him at right tackle, we had Jace Mueller. Jace was on the varsity for 2 years, played center for us last year, moved over to right tackle this year. Jace is a great young man, also plays tennis for us in the fall, so he's a two-sport athlete in the fall. So there's some Tuesday afternoons and things like that we got to move his practice time around just
and being
a little bit.
tennis player, he has really got mobility
Yeah,
and
he does.
agility.
For a big guy, he sure
Yeah.
doesn't. He's one of our top players too. So I think they plan on going to regional and stuff with him in the spring. So next to him was Josh Espinoza, who was also a 2-year starter at right guard, and Josh will be leaving us. All three of these kids will be leaving us up front. And Josh has done a good job for us in that guard, been a stable player for us and real consistent. Our center this year was our lone sophomore, Michael Andrade. He came in, and we moved him in after a couple of ball games this fall, and we're looking for big things from him in the future because we'll have to build around him. Next to him, we had Hector Garcia, who was a 3-year starter for us. Hector started on the right side at right tackle for us that first year, his sophomore year. We moved him down to guard his junior and senior year, and Hector's a big kid, real physical in there, and helped us win a lot of ball games. Of course, Matthew Welch was playing left tackle for us. Matthew played on the varsity for us for 4 years. They played a little bit of tight end his freshman year, and then I think started center for his sophomore year and part of his junior year, and then moved to tackle. And you can't say enough good things about Matthew. He's a pretty solid young man in there, and he's looking to continue his career on in college there. And the receiver out there, of course, we had to replace just about everybody at receiver this year. Gage McAnally, who's pretty much played every position on the football field throughout his career. I remember Gage when he was playing third grade football. He was on the offensive line, and that was the meanest little sucker out there. And now, Gage playing receiver this year, and I say every position but quarterback. But last year during 7-on-7, our quarterback was gone. He played quarterback for us at one of our 7-on-7 matches. So I think he pretty much played all of them for us, and he did a great job out there blocking. Of course, we didn't throw the ball as much this year as we have in the past, but he was a good, solid player for us. On the other side, we had a junior who's coming back, Charles Williams. Played good. He's solid. Football player, got great hands. Looking for big things out of Charles in the future. Slot receiver there, we had 2 juniors, Jose Mason and Cornell Avington, who you'll hear about a little bit on the defensive side too. Both of them are solid athletes. Cornell came in and filled in at tailback last night when Damian got ejected, and he's quick, small, slippery, has great balance and great hands, and so we're excited about his future with us also. Of course, at quarterback, he was one of our leaders, Dante Reese, and he did fantastic filling in that opening for Isaiah Hall last year, and Dante – he ended up with just shy of 1,000 rushing yards and just shy of 1,000 passing yards. So we could have, got a little bit. It's good to say, but he was close either way there, and that's a good note to have there. And we're looking forward to building him because he's got a lot of potential. He is a big, strong kid. I don't know if you remember the Dallas Carter game 2 weeks ago. He was playing free safety, and he grabbed that guy by the jersey, and I was like, dang, that boy is strong out there. Like, golly, he is. And then, of course, our workhorse this year was Damian Moore, and Damian ended up just shy of 1,500 yards. He was our leading rusher by far. He was also our leading team in receptions. He had 24 receptions also, and he was our offense. And that got taken away, the second half last night, and so we had to make some things happen. But that's who we've got coming back. That's who we're losing, and all those kids did a great job for us, and very happy for them.
Well, it's just a great testament to this program, to how y'all as a team have brought this team another step
we appreciate
every year. And
these kids were hungry. We came here, and these kids were hungry, and once you put your arm around them and they knew that you had their best interest in heart, they'll do anything for you. It's a great group of kids. Really enjoy working with them.
Tracy, thank you so much.
Thank you, Johnny. I appreciate
We've
it.
enjoyed getting back involved with this program here
Yes,
at the
sir.
end of the season, and best wishes and Merry Christmas.
Thank you,
and
Johnny.
Good
You
luck.
too.
Good luck to
Thank
y'all
you.
in the future. Well, Vance is coming up here, so he'll probably make up a song for Eagle's Nest Sports Restaurant, located at 8455 Boat Club Road. Go by and stop by for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Great food, great drinks, great atmosphere. Thank you, Eagles Nest, for being an anniversary sponsor of Bullfrog Radio.
Eagles Nest for breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
There
it
it
always
is.
makes you a winner.
We just need a guitar.
There you go. That's it.
All right. It was a buzzsaw last night.
Oh, yeah.
Those kids, that's a talented team.
Johnny, they're a very talented team. You can tell that by watching the film on them. The quarterback, he's special. I mean, obviously, he's a coach's kid. Number one. Number two, he's got all the physical attributes of a good pocket passer, but he also runs fairly well. I compared him to the Ferris quarterback from early in the season. And not quite as big, but probably more agile. Throws the ball really well, and what they do, they've got, their tradition, and they play hard, and they block very well, and so you've got to get off blocks, and you got to be able to they've got you grabbed, you've got to be able to rip off, and because you're not always going to get the calls that you want, and that's if you and against a good football team, if you make a mistake, if you bust an assignment, it can be 6 points, and we probably had 3 of those last night. If you do that against some opponents, you may give up a 15, 20, 30-yard run, but you get them down, you get back in the huddle. And you get it correct, and you don't make it again. But against I say quality, I mean high quality. You get against one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the state,
yep,
they're going to go to the house on you. And we had a couple of those. So, but hey, credit to them. They played well, and they got after it.
And just one more thing about that game that we're going to move on, but in watching their video from their games this season, and I saw it live and in person last night, I'm just amazed at how many different players they line up at different skill positions. You can't be keying on anybody.
No, no. You got 4, 5, 6, 8, 11. I mean, you
14.
got 14, and then but you don't ever know where they're all going to be, and they do a really good job of that. Thing is, any of them can go. They all, man, and they catch. They're good. They catch the ball well.
Yep.
I was talking to one of their defensive coaches who I actually knew from his days at Waco High. I saw him before the game, and he goes, "Well, I was just bragging on how good they threw and catch." And he goes, when we go to 7-on-7 in practice, he goes, it's usually just degrading to our DBs. He said, because they tear us up, and so he's like they catch as good as any group he'd ever seen.
Now let's move on and let's look forward now.
Yeah.
What have you got coming back?
Well, Johnny, we've got a lot coming back. I'm going to kind of go through like Tracy Raines did. Give you a rundown of what we had and what we got coming back. We'll start up in the back end at the defensive back position. Corner, obviously, Damian Moore.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he is he's a heck of a cornerback. Obviously, he's a great running back, 1,500 yards.
Yep.
Running back, he may be just as good of a cornerback. Great feet. Good speed, good ball skills, not afraid to go up, and obviously not afraid to hit.
Oh, yeah.
I know y'all talked about the targeting a while ago when we were on defense there, but that was I went back and I looked at the rule. The way it's written, the UIL exception part of it is, you don't have to call. There does not have to be an ejection for targeting. It can just be targeting, and that's your first. If you get 2 of them, then you get ejected. And so it could have been. I think they call it level 1, but they went straight to level 2, and I think they jumped the gun on that one as y'all hit on a while ago. But Damian's a fantastic corner. On the other side of corner, we had Cornell Avington, and Cornell, not a tall kid, but he plays tall. Yeah. He plays well. People challenged him all year. He had, I don't know, 3 picks this year and a whole lot of PBUs, and he's a fantastic tackler as well. And that's something we're always emphasizing. Arian Bouillon came in last night. Cornell's a junior. Arian's a junior. Arian came in after Damian went out, and he got an interception last night.
Yes, he did.
And did a fine job. Free safety, we got free safety coming back. Also happens to be the starting quarterback, Dante. Dante is he's a bull. He is back there, and he can do it all. He can play the pass, and he can play the run, and that's what you're looking for in a free safety. We've been blessed here to have some really good free safeties in my time. We led the state in interceptions one year with Isaiah Hall, and Dante is certainly capable of that. But my goodness, he does a fantastic job. Down at down safety is what we call outside linebackers. Damian Hopkins is a junior. He's coming back. He had a great season. He missed a few games, off and on a couple times, but solid player. Moved in beginning, and so he went through no 7-on-7 with us. He hadn't been through our off-season program. He just moved in, and he'd played with these kids in middle school, and then came back, and we're glad to have him back. He's a good, solid football player. Other side was Gage McAnally. Gage was very solid out there for us. Like Tracy Rain said, he's moved around and played different positions, and he did an excellent job out there all year. And the thing about Gage is he brings the intensity. He brings some fire, and keeps everybody going. China Spring played with about 11 Gages. They did. That's how. They're going to play right up to the whistle. They're going to irritate you. They're going to hit you. They're going to hit you again and again and again. And that's what Gage brought, and that's what I thought China Spring had 11 of. They play with intensity. And then inside linebacker. So Gage is a senior, so we'll be losing him. But inside linebackers, we had 3 inside linebackers. Marcus Bryan will be coming back. He's a junior. Had a whale of a season. He really stood out in the Kennedale game. We moved him around, did some different things with him, and he picked it up like he'd been doing it his entire life. And we kept that little wrinkle in with us, and Marcus was a fantastic player for us. The other 2 linebackers, obviously Trey Stevens has played a lot of football games for us. He's been on varsity for 3 years and had a lot of tackles. I think he was the second leading tackler on the team this year. Just a good, solid football player. And then Diego Valenzuela, our other linebacker, a senior as well. Him and Trey are both seniors, so we'll be losing them. Diego made a lot of plays this year. And then you get down to the defensive line, and things revolved around the defensive line for us, and they have the last couple of years. Our defensive ends have really been the cog to the wheel. They're what's really helps us run and pass. Before I get to them, the nose guard, our starting nose guard was James Best, and he did a fine job. Big kid, big strong kid. Senior, so we'll be losing him. But Chris Tapia got split snaps with him the second half of the year, and Chris is going to be a good nose guard too. He's just a junior, and then the ends: Hornell Klubu, Brian Neal. Brian, was our team defensive player of the year last year. Missed the first 3 games of the year. Had a wrist injury. Had to have some surgery. Came back, fought through it. It's a couple of games he played one-armed, but a one-armed Brian he's still.
I'll take him.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a player. And finally you saw him on offense last night. Holy moly! And he's finally to where he was finally getting to where he could, use everything. And he's just a great kid, a great athlete.
And that block of the extra point.
Oh yeah,
too.
Yeah,
he did everything last night.
Yep, that's what he's done for us for 3 years. He's our school leader in sacks. He owns the leader. He's the leader in sacks and in school history. and just a great player. And then Hornell Klubu. Hornell, we moved down to the defensive end position this year. Hornell was long, gangly, free safety as a freshman, and then as a sophomore, we moved in and tried to play him down at outside linebacker, and just didn't ever really click. Last year he played some inside linebacker and some outside linebacker, moving back and forth. And then this summer we decided to put his hand in the ground, and that was the best move that we've ever made. He had a fantastic season. My goodness, he led the team in tackles, led the team in sacks. He's a force. He's a force, and certainly going to miss him. But we've got some guys coming up. We got Cash Martinez had a great season. Played a lot early when Brian was out. Got invaluable experience out there. He plays hard. He plays with intensity. So we'll be good there too. So great bunch of kids, great bunch of seniors. I know Tracy had mentioned it earlier. I think we had 24, 25 seniors this year. That all contributed. Man, it's a good group and a fun group. Those guys, when they play football, they're playing it for the love of the game, and they have fun. And it was quite a season.
Well, it's been a great season, 10 wins, and that's when you get to double figures, there's something special going on.
You got that right. I'm not a stat guy. Never have been. My favorite stat is always the win. Mm-hmm. But looking back, trying to get ready for our end of the year celebration and all that, and in the modern era that we had the number one defense in the modern era in school history, scoring wise. And, I think one of the top two of all time in school history. So, couldn't be more proud of these kids and the coaches. They've certainly they had a fantastic season, a great season. It didn't end the way we wanted to, but obviously it was a really, really good season.
Vance, thank you for everything.
Thank you, Johnny.
Great job.
Thank you.
Let's bring the top Bullfrog in here to wrap this one up for 2022. And folks, while Tracy's coming in, I hope that those of you who have watched this, go back and watch it again, because when you have the two coordinators that can sit here and talk about basically every young man that they were involved with and not just name them. Tracy, that's very impressive.
Well, like all of them said, that they've had these kids for Vance. Had these kids for 5 years now, and been a part of them. We're with them all the time, and we work with them all summer. These kids had a great summer coming into this year, and just fantastic kids, Johnny. We lost some kids over the years, and because they didn't quite buy in, and I hated to lose those kids. You hate to see anybody not make it with the program, but these kids that bought in and came through. Let me tell you one kid that neither coordinator talked about there, because he's our kicker. Yep. Polito did a fantastic job for us. Of course, we have not released the all-district team yet, but let's just say he got great honors, both as a punter and a kicker. Just got better and stronger. My wife kind of joked about it. His sophomore year, when he kicked for us, he would look to me and I'd get after him. And then last year he got better than this year. He just pushed the ball right where you want it, and fantastic job, and they're very, very proud of those kids. So, yes, we know the kids, we know their background, and part of coaching, especially at Lake Worth, is getting to know your families and getting to know these kids, and because they're all different, and you got to put your arms around them and love them. Take care of them, feed them, give them rides, all those type of things, and that's what we do, and that's why we're so successful here at Lake Worth. What a great place!
It really is, and you've got some players to talk about, especially the departing seniors.
Well, we're going to miss these kids. I think Tracy and Vance both did a good job of talking about each one of them individually. But the thing I wanted to talk about, yes, we have 24 seniors, and when you say that, well, you lose the whole senior group. Well, we've got 26 juniors on the board. You hope all of them make it. Well, now that we get into it and start getting the off season, those type of things, and Monday we'll check in equipment, and then Tuesday we're right back at it. We're hitting it at 7:30 in the morning. So we're going. So we've got 26 juniors, we've got 25 sophomores, and we've got 51 freshmen. Now, obviously, as you keep going through the years, you'll lose some of those freshmen and get down. So you hope you finish with 25 or 30 by the time they're juniors and seniors. But good numbers there. Again, putting your arm around them knowing that you love them and you're going to take care of them, and the families trust you with them. That's what it's all about here.
And those numbers, I've been involved with several different programs through the years in broadcasting, and that to have, when you're talking 24, 25, 26 coming up
Per class, yes.
Per class, that is really hard to imagine for a 4A.
It is.
Program.
It is, and that's what you to get to where we want to go and where we want to be. That's what you've got to have. We've done it. Both Tracy and Vance have done a good job of keeping the staff intact. We've lost very few coaches. The ones we have lost have went on to be offensive coordinators, and we're very proud of that. At the 4A level, you get good young coaches, and you help them grow and mature.
Sure.
And if they leave, hopefully it's going to be a coordinator or going to be a head coach. And we've lost 3 over the last 2 years, and all 3 of them went to be offensive coordinators. And one of them, again, they played 13 games as well. So very, very proud of those guys. It's your coaching staff, it's your players, it's the community. It's all one part of this. And I'm so proud of our community and the way they supported us and backed us and cheered us on, and very appreciative of that as well, Johnny.
And I saw a post yesterday. I'm not sure if it was Red Brock might have made it, but I was just thinking back to the program that y'all came up here from. How many of those assistants are now head coaches?
I saw that post. It was very, very nice of Reb to do that. And how many of those coaches are head coaches? How many of them are, I think he called them Lake Worth crew, et cetera, et cetera. But, and it goes back to, I think what Reb was doing was giving credit to Jack Welch and what Jack had started there at Copper's Cove, and great things that came out of there and so forth. There's a Texas high school coaches, what they call the coaching tree. And you go back to those coaching trees, and so many of the great coaches right now that are being successful came from that coaching tree that started there in Copper's Cove with Jack Welch. So that was very big.
Yes, it was. And well, we're like you said, we're going to check in the equipment and start it over for next year.
We are, but now recruiting starts. We do have 3 kids that currently have college offers. The college coaches started coming in this last week, and right after Thanksgiving they started coming in harder. I know there was four teams there last night watching us, and I was glad to see that. We have 3, like I said, we have 3 kids currently that are offered. We've got 2 or 3 more that I think want to play, and I think they'll have the opportunity. And when the coaches put the film on, they look for things like, does your motor run all the time? If you get blocked, do you get off that block? Like Vance said a while ago, do you get off that block? You break the holding and go make the play. If you get cut, you get up and go play. And hopefully that's what we've instilled in our kids, because it's about the game of life. When you get knocked down, do you get up and go full speed, or you have 2 choices. You can get bitter or better. Right. And we try to encourage our kids to get better and not bitter and so forth. So now recruiting starts. Sad to see some of these seniors leave. Of course, obviously as a father, of course, we got 3 coaches' sons. Dominic Alvarez was Robert Alvarez's son and played tight end for us and did a good job. He has plans to play college baseball, and he's been going to some camps and some tryouts and things. And then Gage McAnally is Vance's son, and he too wants to pursue baseball and go that route. And of course, my son Matthew Welch. I was talking to Matthew coming up this morning, and Matthew played in 45 games for us, and that's quite a feat. I'm not sure if that's ever happened in Lake Worth's history, The only game he missed was when he had his knee hurt against Wichita Falls Hershey, which kind of opened the doors for some of these linemen that Tracy talked about a while ago that had that good career. So certainly gonna miss those three players, and wish them the best of luck in the future, as well as all of our seniors.
Well, I think we're just about ready to wrap this one up. I'm so proud of what your team, your coaching team,
Yes.
and your team on the field has accomplished, not just this year, but in building every year.
It's been a building program, and so proud of the coordinators, both Tracy and Vance, and Keith Stiffemeyer and Quentin Posey, and we've done a good job. Looking back, we've got several coaches that have been there with us since we got here, and very appreciative of those guys. And once you, it's just, I'm not a micromanager. Those guys handle their duties. Everybody does their own thing. I'm very, very proud of them, and the kids feel it as well. And so proud of these kids and community. Special thanks to our superintendent of schools, Dr. Rosemary Neshma, our school board, who's very supportive of what we're doing here, Dr. Seaton, our new principal. So it's just it's a great situation to be in Lake Worth, Texas.
You said it all, Tracy. Thank you so much. We appreciate the opportunity to be a part of this program.
Well, appreciate you coming the last few weeks and getting back in here with us. And I know it's a long drive for you and hard on you and your wife, but thanks for you and Joy and what Joy has done for us the whole time here.
Thanks much. And I'm going to say thank you to everyone. Joey Wilcoxon, man, and I've seen you grow professionally over the years. And
I'll go ahead and say it, Johnny. You said some great gray hairs as goatee because he's getting so old.
That's it. So for Joey and for Tracy Welch and the coordinators,